The Undercountry Music News is an excerpt of the weekly internet broadcast Undercountry Music, which features music from great country artists you won't hear on mainstream radio, as well as a roundup of the most interesting country music news of the week without all the fluff. This program you're listening to right now contains only the news portion of the show. To listen and subscribe to the full weekly episode containing the music and interviews, please visit undercountrymusic.com or simply subscribe to the Undercountry Music Podcast on iTunes. Let's get into it. The time. Where did the time go? It ticks in an everlasting, effervescent nature because it's time for the Undercountry Music Hey, I've got my high notes back. Look at that. That's what you get when you stop smoking crack for a month. Yeah, I'm never going to try that again. All right, the Undercountry Music News. For those of you on the talk show formats just now joining us, the Country Music News is a little breakout section of the larger internet broadcast podcast that happens every week, Undercountry Music. And I kind of grabbed this out and I separate it out as its own very own talk show as well. And then I throw it up on YouTube and then also on Spreaker. And throw it on Spreaker and YouTube because they don't like me to put music on there. They get like copyright flags and stuff like that. And they don't really care that I got permission to play music. But anyway, the Undercountry Music News. It's an evil experiment that I do every single week right here. And that is where I go down into the Undercountry Music Laboratory in my basement. And I experiment. I take little pieces of this news and little pieces of that news. And I sew them together from a variety of country music news websites. I think you know where I'm going with this. I go on to Google each week, and I use the search term country music news. And whatever websites come up on the front page of the search results, I harvest parts of the news and I put them all together from the different websites into a new creation. And that creation would be the actual news. Because I have to go to 20 freaking different websites to actually get you the real news. Because a lot of these places are just there, jerking their pucky, pucking their jerky, whacking the banana, slapping around the watermelon. And they're really not doing much of anything for anyone. Okay, look. They print a bunch of artist and management press releases, and they ignore real news. So it's my job to go in there, find the one or two good stories, and bring it to you, compile it all into this stinking mess called the Undercountry Music News. Are you ready? Oh, one more thing. If I come across a website that's not doing its job, it's supposed to have country music news, but it's paddling the donkey, I award that website with a special trophy, otherwise known as the Undercountry Music News Wet Belch of the Week. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Gonna kick off the Undercountry Music News here with CMT, Country Music Television. They normally are a steaming pile of stink bombs, but this week they've got a riveting story about Loudilla Maxine Johnson, one of the three sisters who systematized the operation of country music fan clubs and also pioneered the event that eventually morphed into the CMA Music Festival. Well, she died last week in Franklin, Tennessee at the age of 75. Now, loudilla, or is it loudilla? I don't know. It's Loudilla. That's a weird name. Loudilla. That sounds like something from a Japanese bee monster movie. Loudilla! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Big old monster egg hatching out of the volcano. Where was I? Okay. Now, she worked with her younger sisters, Loretta, who died in 2009, and Kay from the family ranch in Wild Horse, Colorado. And she became important in the country music industry by founding the Loretta Lynn Fan Club in 1963, 5 years before I was born. And also before Loretta Lynn became a star. And, her fan club that she formed was so effective in raising Loretta Lynn's profile that it also caught the attention of fans and other artists who asked her for advice on starting and operating their own fan clubs. And then, Loretta Lynn eventually suggested the formation of an organization to deal with other fan clubs. And, the International Fan Club Organization was born. And Loudilla, along with her couple of sisters, they made it happen. And they all thrived well into the 2000s. And, they were like the bomb diggity, and they created a system for fan clubs, which Nashville utilized. And, when it was all said and done, I think they had something like, they were running like 400 different fan clubs. It's like all crazy balls and stuff. Hey, you know what? You want a good fan club? You go through Loudilla, baby. But not no more, because Loudilla sleeps with the fishes. Rest in peace, Loudilla. All right, moving over to GAC. Great American country. The Zac Brown Band. The fat guy with the beard that likes to cook up slabs of ribs for the whole neighborhood before his shows? Yeah, that guy. All right. The Zac Brown Band's about to release the Grohl Sessions Volume 1 on May 19th. Now, apparently, they teamed up with the leader of the Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl, for a week-long recording session, and this is what resulted. Good or bad? Of course they say it's good, but will it be? I don't know. Also over at GAC, Crystal Keith's back in the kitchen, and she's making Mama Mac's yeast buns. Do I really want to eat yeast buns from a lady named Mama Mac? Yeah, not sure, but you can go see the pictures and grab that recipe for your own damn self over at blog.gac.com. See that one coming? blog.gac.com. All right. Country Weekly. Marty Stuart has a photo exhibition. And it's getting shown places like Nashville's Frist Center. Right? It's called American Ballads, Photographs of Marty Stuart. All right? And it began last week on May 9th, and it features photos of legendary musicians like Johnny Cash, and also sites and characters found on, quote-unquote, from the press release, America's Back Roads, and Marty's depictions of the Lakota people in South Dakota. Now, that's cool. I love seeing, photographs of native peoples. That's pretty cool. All right, now, more than 60 photographs are represented in the exhibit. Now, also over at Country Weekly, you can see the lyric video for Johnny Cash's new song, Out Among the Stars. Now, I gotta admit, I sort of knocked on this tune when it first came out. because the music is pretty much unimaginative, and I'm not going to relent on that point, because the music for this song is the same tired music progression that's been hammered out for a million years, and, well, was hammered out by Johnny Cash for about half of those million years. But, that's not where Johnny Cash's strength lies. His strength lies in what he says, in his charisma, in his personality, in that rawness about him, and that is certainly here on this song. The words to this song, the lyrics, the stuff he's saying, wow. Whoa. His character and his message, they carry this song up to the stars, and, it really is a good song. If you're a Johnny Cash fan, get on over to Country Weekly and wrap your eyeballs around this lyric video. You'll be glad you did. I'm glad I gave it another listen because it's not your typical horse crap song that like you hear on today's country radio, and it's probably not going to get any airplay either, which is a shame. All right, over at Taste of Country, Craig Campbell's record label has closed. Out of business. Finito. Roll down the gate. Cut the lights. Slap it. Print it. We're out of here. Bigger Picture Group, the label of Craig Campbell. They have officially closed their doors. And ironically, Campbell is climbing the charts with his current single, Keep Them Kisses Comin'. And apparently he is the only somewhat name of an act over there at the label. And unfortunately, one act does not a label make. Them kisses are going now. Sorry to say. All right, over at NashvilleGab.com, one of my favorite websites. That wasn't a very good burp, was it? They did earn the Undercountry Music News Wet Belch of the Week. I'm going to give them a better one than that. Let me muster up something better than that, okay? There we go. That's more befitting the level of suckness that they brought us this week. Actually, they did bring us one thing. They tried to tie it into country music, and they failed. Taylor Swift is the face of that You're On campaign for Diet Coke. But she is not in this story and has nothing to do with the story other than the fact that she's the face of that campaign. But look, Diet Coke put a bunch of billboards around, and they didn't have Taylor Swift on them, so she has nothing to do with this story. So I don't know what the tie-in is, but they had to pull a bunch of billboards because, the word diet was real small on it, and the whole idea is you're on. It's like you drink a Diet Coke and then you're on. But, the billboard read you're on and then had a can of Coke there. So it read like you're on Coke. So they had to pull like all kinds of umpteen hundreds of whatever billboards, and kind of humorous. All right, moving along, because Nashville Gab sucked this week. TheBoot.com, Bela Fleck, and Abigail Washburn. Oh man, that's right. The two world-renowned banjoists, banjelists, if you will, banjousts, who also happen to be married to each other. They're finally getting together in blissful digital manipulation to bring you a banjo smorgasbord. A banjo morgasbord. It'll be pure banjo-mageddon. Banjo-rific. Banj-tastic, if you will. I cannot wait for it. I have no idea who these people are. I've never heard of them in my life. But a husband and wife banjo team? Honey, come here. Come on. How about you and me start a husband and wife banjo team and go kick these guys' butts? You're so far off the mic, no one can hear you.
That's hot. Let's do it.
And she does voiceover for a living. So, yeah, she's over here tearing down a photo booth right now and packing it up for a job we have this weekend. I'll tell you more about that later. But anyway, those two crazy cats, Bela Fleck and Abigail Washburn, they're laying their banjo tracks, their hot banjo tracks right now in the studio. All right, also over at theboot.com, Shania Twain has joined a big cat conservation group called Panthera.
Chum 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 chum, ray chum 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 chum, speck chum 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 chum, walk. Hey, talking to me?
Yeah, okay, nobody into country music gets that reference. That was a song by Pantera from the 90s, a metal band from the 90s, which nobody listening to this show will know. Well, maybe one or two of you. Anyway, no, it's called Panthera, and they want to keep people from killing big kitties. You know what? All those poachers out there in the wild killing the big cats, I got a job for them. See, my cat likes to pee on the stairs, and so if you're looking for a cat to kill, my wife, I've been wanting to kill this damn cat for like months now because she will not stop peeing on the damn stairs, and my wife just will not let me do it. I mean, I just want to pick this cat up, snap its neck, throw it in the trash. No big deal. No torture. Nothing like that. Just a little crack, and then throw it away. You know, and no more pee-pee in the stairwell. But the wife has put the hammer down and won't let me do it. So therefore, all you South American and African poachers who are looking for a new kitty to take a hit out on, I might have a contract for you, if you know what I mean. Alright, yous guys. Over at Country Standard Time, Scotty McCreery, he's been robbed at gunpoint while at an apartment in Raleigh, North Carolina, in a forced entry robbery last Monday. The robbers, they made off with his wallet, his phone, and his electronics. Now, if you're Scotty McCreery and all that money, don't you think you'd have a phone so bitchin' awesome that you would not need any quote-unquote electronics? Okay? Just saying. I think I'd have a phone that could freaking scrub my dishes. You know what I'm talking about? That's like those tall Scotty McCreery dollars, baby. Anyway, the robbers, they wanted his talent, but unfortunately, Scotty McCreery didn't have any. Over at countrymusicisLove.com, an arrest has been made in the Scotty McCreery robbery. Okay, Country Standard Time reports that there's been a robbery, but they don't get the story that the arrest happened? Really? I have to go to, it's like the next website reports that there's been an arrest in this robbery. Okay. Unfortunately, no talent was recovered. Over at the 615, which is a subdivision of Billboard.com, last Tuesday saw the release of a Porter Wagoner and Dolly Parton box set containing every damn screwy song those two ever recorded together. All of them. You got them right there. Well, I'm sure, when Dolly kicks the bucket, they'll find some new ones somewhere. They always find new ones after you die, Porter Wagoner's already dead, so we gotta wait for Dolly to die, and then we'll get the stuff they never intended to release for good reason. Anyway, okay, another story over at the 615. Billy Currington, he's being sued by that 70-year-old boat captain from last year who pressed criminal charges against him. after Currington verbally threatened his old ass, after this codger a-hole buzzed his boat dock. Okay? The nasty old coot is stating that Currington has mocked and libeled him publicly and is seeking damages! Get off my lawn! Screw that old man! And this has been your... Thank you for listening to the Undercountry Music News. The Undercountry Music News is just a small excerpt of the weekly, hour-long internet broadcast Undercountry Music, where I, Neil Smith, not only round up the week in country music news and put my own spin on it, but I also play music and have great interviews by lesser-known original country acts, the kind that you won't hear on mainstream country radio. If you're thirsting for that, get on over to undercountrymusic.com, where you can listen and subscribe. You can also subscribe via iTunes to Undercountry Music. Thanks so much. Stay under, stay country.